Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I know I always say this every Thursday on these live training webinars. So, real fast, I want to make sure that if we can mute the phones, that would be great. Okay, I think we are good to go. So, as I said, I want to make sure that we maximize your minutes spent here with us, right? And Illinois Mutual, who is our featured carrier of the day, and use that Q&A box. Okay, you have that question pane that you can expand or minimize. Fire away at us, good, bad, indifferent. We want to hear from you. Questions, comments, all the above, please. Also, feel free to reach out to anyone in our marketing department, and we can get you illustrations or brochures or contracting, anything that you need to get started to move the needle in 25. We're going to bring up today a bunch of great sales ideas, strategies. We have some new marketing pieces. We can even co-brand for you, videos, Facebook ads, all the above. So you're going to love what we go over today in this presentation. But what we're going to do is I'm going to start off. I'm going to run for about 8 minutes here, and then I'll turn it over to Alan, our VP, and he's got some great stuff to talk about. In fact, this is the first time we ever did a life and DI webinar with Illinois Mutual. So this is going to be fun for all of us. Like I said, this is our first time going over and diving deep into their platform. So I think you're going to love it as well. As soon as Alan wraps up, he's got about 30 minutes. I'm going to take the wheel back and go over the latest and greatest social media posts, what we're seeing that's working great out there, and then I'll share this new marketing material, some new technology that's available for the new year that you can leverage by being an active agent with Levinson. So we're also going to have our question of the day at the end. We'll do this right before 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to ask the question, and then whoever answers first and correctly, we're going to announce your name live on this training, and you walk away with a new Apple iWatch, okay, and our prospecting book on us, okay? No, you can't call in after the presentation or email in. It's got to be live. You got to be on until the end. So very, very important. And then my question has to do with our presentation, okay? So it's going to be spoken about in the next 45 minutes or so. Okay, so let's jump right in. What I want to do, too, is talk about what our goals are here at Levinson for the new year, okay? And this has to do with our trainings, with our expo, with our customer service, and all three departments, okay? So if we can go to the next slide, what I want to touch on briefly is we have to make things simple for you all, okay? And we get it, okay? It's not easy. You're a third bedroom agent in Key West, Florida, or Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you're hitting the phones all day. You're trying to create traffic, get more eyeballs on your social media ads or website or whatever it is, just creating new activity. And then as soon as you have a guy or girl, we need to make sure that we're connecting all the pieces for you on the back end, okay? And we're helping you with the quotes, and we're processing the application, and we're getting back to you accurate status feeds and reports, and if you want the scorecard, to see all of your cases, and then you want to know where the policy is, you've got to be in the loop every step of the way. So our goal is to make things easier for you all is the bottom line in 2025. We also need to make sure that we're coming up with new sales ideas, content, strategies, so you can go out and move the needle even further this year, okay? It's very important. We have to make sure that your toolbox is full, right, with the best carriers and products. And if we're talking about, like today, for example, we have Illinois Mutual. They have some great DI and some great life niche products and riders that we've never seen before. So when you talk about, covering all corners of the industry, so when you're on the phone with that guy or girl, right, you have the best of the best, and they're not going to get a better product or quote from a competing agent. So that's our goal for this year between all three departments is bigger and better, make things easier for you, the agent, our customer, okay? Number one. And I'm going to share in a few more minutes why that's so important. So what you're looking at now is our timeline. And yes, This is very, very important for all of us here. We take this very serious. Now we're in this day and age, right, where you see the IMO brokerage business has changed a bit. Okay. And what's happened when you look at what COVID did to the industry and to this country, in fact, with the entire world, I feel like, especially in our industry, what happened is a lot of the IMOs that were just kind of hanging around in the middle, okay, or maybe they were even declining a little bit before COVID, they're gone now. Okay, the larger IMOs are still standing strong. And then when you look at the larger IMOs in the macro, what happened to maybe 70% of those IMOs is they were acquired, right? All of a sudden, it's like corporate USA, right? Bought a mom and pop shop that turned out to be a top 10 IMO, and it's no surprise now there's 22 layers in the hierarchy. So that's not good for you. Okay. So it's important to us that we have this long standing history, family owned and operated being key here. Okay. So when you're dealing with a top 10 IMO, we have the strength, we have the direct contracts, but you're still getting that great customer service where you can jump on the phone with Carrie if you have a tough case that needs to be preferred, but it came in select, or you need to get me involved because you're coming up with a great Facebook marketing campaign and you want my opinion. We're here every day in the trenches with you. Okay, so that's important. Okay, and when you see the landscape and you look back, right, there's been a lot of changes at your level, at the agency level, and at the IMO level. In fact, at the carrier level, we saw, look in the last few years, we saw some carriers were bought up, okay, or even closed down for whatever reason. So we're seeing changes. You need to be with an IMO that's been around a long, long time. Hopefully it's not like a corporate America IMO, okay, because again, we know there's so many layers. You need to have a carrier that you're standing behind that's at least rated A minus or better, okay, very important. We just saw a few annuity companies that folded recently. Okay, so these are things that you need to look out for. So again, going back to this slide and this image, this means the world to us, and it should mean the world to you. Okay, there's Kerry, 1972, right? He was an old MetLife GA, started the company. 98, I came in to the picture. Okay, '03, and I'm not going to go over each bullet here, but '03, we had the first brokerage website with an interactive quoting engine. I laugh now, because, now you look at a website, and if it doesn't have a quoting engine and e-apps, they're in the dinosaur age. Okay. But back then I remember saying to Carrie, Dad, we need $6,000 to create this website. He looked at me like I had 17 heads. He said, "You're nuts." I said, "Fine, I'll invest my own money." Well, it was born. We built it. '06, we had the first expo. We'll fast forward to 2025. Okay. Going back to the top 10 IMO award. Okay, and why it's so important when you look around the room in that top 10 IMO room, most of the larger IMOs were bought up, acquired, sold out. Okay, so again, customer service typically goes down the tubes, as we know. We now have over 24,000 agents in just about every city in the U.S., even New York. Okay, it's a big deal. Insure Me Now Direct, the limit raised with instant decisions to $4 million. Okay, so very proud. 53-year track record in growing. Okay, we're just getting started, as a matter of fact. Let's go to the next slide. All right, real fast, what I meant earlier when I said we are making things bigger and better, and that's our promise to you. You're our number one. You're our customer. We don't sell on a retail level. Okay. We work with our agents and GAs. That's it. Okay. Just like the carrier works with IMOs, we work with you all. So when we see comments like this, testimonials like this moves the needle for us on a personal level. Okay. Vernon, Chris B, Cliff, Nikki. All right. This is everything. And I'm not going to talk about every single word. Okay. But I'll touch on this briefly. Let's look at the top right corner. Last week, and again, talking about customer service, I received a call from Carrie informing me of a $100 gift card coming my way with a Levinson contest. All right. So you talk about contests and incentives. We gave away, think about this, over $1 million in bonuses and incentives in 2024. Over $1 million. Okay. So we're not saying, hey, we want you to sell annuities and life with us and supplemental products. And we're going to keep you way down here and pay you a 40% commission. And we're going to take all this override and we're going to buy super yachts and travel the world. No, we're investing back into our agents, our field force, our business, okay, with technology, with incentives. We want to make sure that you have enough dollars to throw into that lead program or that social media, whatever, Facebook ad, okay? And you can hit more cities or counties, whatever it is you're working on. So we love to hear and see these things. Let's keep moving forward. All right, what I want to do next is talk about our big powwow for the year. Write this down, April 11th. April 11th. I'm giving you an extra second or two to write down that date, and I want to make sure that you RSVP as soon as we hang up. Why? Because we're capped at 300 agents. Okay, we have our host beachfront resort that's hosting the expo, and what I love about it, it was just renovated by the Hilton and now owned by the Hilton. Speaking of acquisitions, Hilton now owns the hotel. It's beachfront on the sand. What I love about this, number one, it's free for everyone. Number two, if you write life and annuity business with us, that includes DI, supplemental products, starting at just $30,000, that's combined premium, we give you a suite on the ocean at our host hotel here. Okay, $60,000, we pay for everything, including round trip airfare. $70,000, we pay for everything, but 2 free nights in our beachfront suite. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're writing as much as you can with Levinson. Okay, we understand you might write with another IMO or two. It's okay. You're not captive with us by any means, but write as much as you can. Hopefully, you'll have a nice vacation or staycation here with your spouse. We pay for everything, plus you're walking away with sales ideas and strategies. Our annuity keynote speaker is locked down for the year, Charles Samuel, one of my favorite coaches in the annuity space. And then we have a life coach who I'm going to announce in the next few weeks. So that's going to be a little surprise. But this is complimentary. We have our networking lunch. We have snacks, breakfast. We do a big dinner the night before for all of our out-of-town agents and guests. So you'll love the Expo for 25. Bigger, better, different is the key here. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, we have to innovate. We have to pivot, right? Like I said, we have to invest back in the business, or else we're in reverse in New York City in 2025, which we're not going to do. Okay, now, our website, our mobile app, okay, everything has been taken to the next level, refreshed, updated. Check it out when you can. The mobile app is great. I mean, you meet someone in the supermarket tonight, okay, and you're wearing your free scholarship pin that we give out for free, and they say, well, what do you do? Scholarships? Tell me more. And you start talking about life insurance and how a free scholarship comes with a life insurance policy. And they say, oh my gosh, Bill, can you run a quote? You take out the mobile app on your phone, run a quote, and they say, wow, you know what? I'm in. Sign me up. You click apply. You turn your phone over to the customer. Boom, instant decision. You just sold up to $4 million in less than 14 minutes. So you need the mobile app also to check on your cases. You can do almost everything that you can do on our desktop version website. Okay, so check out the latest technology. We have JC now at the wheel heading up these projects. So in fact, if you want to speak to JC about your marketing effort, okay, or you have some ideas with social media, whatever it is, pick up the phone anytime and introduce yourself. Let's keep moving forward. Incentives, cash, green money, everybody likes to talk about, and we get it, right? I just told you we paid out over $1 million in bonus incentives, prizes in 2024. So I don't want to steal Alan's thunder, but as you can see, top left corner, Illinois Mutual, giving out big bucks. I'm sure they gave out way over $1 million last year. Take advantage of this. He's going to speak about this in just a few more minutes. Bottom left corner, as we know, Banner just increased the max face to $4 million instant decision. It's exclusive because it's on Insure Me Now Direct, which is free for you. Okay, $150 with your first app. Okay, I don't think I have to say anything else. The middle section, Manhattan Life has some bonus bucks there from 75 to $100 with application submission and placement. On the right-hand side, Assurity Life, part of our Insure Me Now Direct program and platform, $100 bonus with your first app, and that goes for all products on the platform. Okay, I have two more slides, and Alan's going to take the wheel. Our 411 newsletter, we get it. We have over 100 carriers now, thousands and thousands of products and platforms and technology. It's a lot, okay? It could be overwhelming. So here's what we do. As a Levinson agent, you get this email in your inbox every other week, and this gives you the 100-foot overview of all of the changes. What's your everything from A to Z. So you don't have to go surfing around 150 websites, okay, to find out, oh my gosh, this product was discontinued, but, oh, I see we have a better option now. No, everything is right here in front of you. Let's keep moving forward. When it comes to disability sales, we all know comp is great. The renewal stream is greater. This is building an annuity for yourself as the agent, okay? And you're helping your clients, okay? We all know how important life insurance is. What happens if the consumer gets disabled and can't work anymore? How is the life insurance premium going to get paid? It's not, okay? So either you have waiver or premium rider, or even better, a DI policy. Okay, let's look at the four sections here, starting over on the left side. Impaired risk DI. Okay, lots of people think, oh, my client can't qualify because of their job class. No more. We have options, left-hand side. Let's move over one section. Blue collar DI. You're going to see the leader there in the red box, and the other options just below that. Let's move over one more column. White collar DI. You're going to see plenty of the top options there, and then Insure Me Now Direct. 100% direct to consumer. We have options there for you as well. So the entire DI map is covered. Okay, let's move to our feature presentation here. We have our regional VP from Illinois Mutual joining us today. First time ever. Alan, can you hear me, bud?
I can hear you. Is my screen showing?
Yes, it is.
Or do I have to? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Show my screen. There you go.
There we go.
All right. Am I on?
Yes.
Bill?
Right now we're looking at life strategies with your Illinois Mutual logo, so we're good.
All right, perfect. Bill, I want to thank you and the entire organization for putting this together and inviting Illinois Mutual. It is exciting to have the opportunity to talk about both life and disability. I am, I'm 33 years in this business come May, and I've never been more excited about being in the life insurance business. It's something that drives me every day. The fact that we get up every morning and we're really, really helping people with the products and services that we provide. And I love this quote. I always like to start with a quote to get the audience up. People say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing, and that's why we recommend it on a daily basis. Hopefully you'll get a chuckle off of that. And Bill mentioned I'm going to share some sales ideas. So my experience with these calls is I can get up there and put up all the home office slides about all the products and go over all the individual specs. But my sense is that you all know you can grab that from a manual. My goal today is to give you a good overview of what we have. We've got a really, really new, exciting disability product. Give you an overview of what it is and where you can get more information through the Levinson organization. And then share with you some ideas to make you more impactful in front of a client. And the first sales idea was the first sales idea my general agent told me the Tuesday after Memorial Day in 1986 when I started my career at Northwestern Mutual. He said to me and the rest of the class, always seek knowledge. We are in the business of asking. And if we don't ask, nothing happens. And I took that lesson to heart. And I just wanted to quickly share with you the first 5 people that I actually asked. My father, my Aunt Judy, my friend Frank, my sister Diane, and my other friend Tom. And you'll notice Tom is separated from the pack, and I'll explain why. My father bought a policy from me because he was a high-ranking police official, 50-something years of age, and he was very well aware of the pension options that he had. And I talked to him about pension maximization and how he could buy his own personal life insurance and take a bigger pension option so that both he and mom could live a much more comfortable retirement. So he was literally my first life insurance sale. It was a nice 6-figure death benefit. My second sale was to my godmother, Aunt Judy. My godmother didn't have a lot of money, but because I'm her godson, she put $50 a month into a $30,000 whole life insurance policy at Northwestern Mutual. And I'll explain to you really quick what happened there. Frank and Diane both did $100 a month into what we called back in the day an insured savings plan. And I can tell you, as we speak today, they still both put in that $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. They each bought it about the same time. Their guaranteed cash values went up $4,500 last year. I don't know what other financial instrument you can tell that story about. And that's exclusive of dividends. And every time I see my friend Frank, who lives in upstate New York, I live down on Long Island, he's always saying, how come you didn't sell me more of this? It's the best thing I own. I said, Frank, I've asked you every single time I've come up to Rochester to see you, and you always had one excuse, so you know that. Can't help it. My sister Diane obviously loves the fact that she has multiple policies that have very similar results. But then we got Tom. Tom kind of sat over here on the bottom here. He wouldn't buy life insurance from me because he said, Alan, life insurance is a bad, and you can all fill in the blanks, investment. And I went on to try to explain to him that it's not an investment, the same old sales pitch, insured savings, he's starting young, and he wouldn't do it until he was forced to buy life insurance. And typically I'll ask the crowd, when in life are we forced to buy life insurance? And some of the typical response, when you're sick. Well, when you're sick, you can't get it. But there's one legal reason why we have to be buying life insurance, and that happened to Tom. He was going through a divorce. And part of the divorce agreement required he buy a 15-year level product for $250,000 for the benefit of his one child. And he said, Alan, I want you to sell me the most cheapest form of term insurance you can buy. And I said, I can't help you. I said, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm never going to sell you term insurance that doesn't have financial flexibility for your future. Thank God I did. That financial flexibility for your future is my unique way of saying it's convertible. I don't like using our terminology when I'm working with clients. If you say convertible to a layperson, they're thinking soft-top Mustang. So financial flexibility for your future intrigues them, and then you can explain why. And I said, Tom, you're buying this policy now, but you don't know what's going to happen in the next 15 years. Well, true to form, Tom is a New York City fireman, spent a lot of time down at Ground Zero, and unfortunately acquired the cough. So as you can imagine, his life expectancy is significantly cut. He waited to 14 years and 300 days, so 65 days before the policy was to expire, and he says, what should I do? I said, what are you talking about? What you should do? You should move it into a permanent policy. And he hemmed and hawed, and I showed him the premium. He says, that's too expensive. I said, Tom, I'll tell you what. You transfer the ownership of that term policy to me, I'll make my wife the beneficiary, and I'll pay the premiums on the conversion. Tom and I have been best friends since elementary school, and he knows that if I'm going to come out of pocket for something, it's a pretty darn good deal. So he, in fact, converted it, and I say thank God. I'll go back up to my father. My father was my first gut claim. He died 7 years after the policy was issued, unfortunately, to cancer. Thankfully, I had that significant death benefit. And when I presented it to my mother, she threw her arms around me and with probably the hardest hug I've ever experienced in my life and said, now I know why you love what you do so much. Aunt Judy plugged along with her $50 a month, and unfortunately, about 7 years after my father passed, she passed. And she didn't make her son, my cousin, the beneficiary because he had done 8 years in Club Fed. So what she did was make her brother, my Uncle Jimmy, the beneficiary. And then Uncle Jimmy and I took her $30,000 policy, which at the time now grew to about 40-something, and we put it in a 529 plan for Billy, my cousin's daughter, so my goddaughter. And I'm happy to say that 529 plan is worth about $90,000 now, and I sent her $600 a month because she's on a full ride for softball. So every month she says a little prayer of thanks to her grandmother for providing her that monthly stream of income. And now she has a significant chunk of money to pursue her post undergrad aspirations and dreams, which is significant. It's a way of grandma saying I love you from the grave. So none of these situations that I described, and of course Frank and Diana described what's going on with their cash value and how well these policies are performed. But the bottom line, none of these things would have ever happened unless I did sales idea number one, always acknowledge and ask. And by the way, agent after agent after agent after I do these presentations comes back and says, my goodness, it actually works. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. So just a little quick thing about Illinois Mutual. We're a mutual company, obviously. We've been around for well over 110 years. You obviously have all the support that you need with the Levinson Group. Our underwriters are very, very accessible. So your team at Levinson has direct access to them where they can talk to them about specific cases. If they need additional information or what have you, they're in line with direct communications to get those things in and get those things processed and out the door as quickly as possible. So let's start. Monday, we introduced what we hope to believe is a game-changing product, a simplified issue disability insurance contract. This is the first time we've ever ventured into this world. This is a great product for individuals that may have some health issues or maybe a bad back or something that they would traditionally be excluded or a rider put on it. We've got now a significant opportunity where these people can get policies with really minimal underwriting. Literally, you take an application and then you'll get a yes or a no from that application. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. But just I've been doing the company disservice. We are, as Bill mentioned in the slide, we specify, or excuse me, we target middle America. And that's that blue and sometimes into that gray collar market for our disability. You go into a dentist's office, you're not selling our policy to the dentist, but the dental hygienist, the x-ray technician, the nurses, our policy is absolutely perfect for those individuals. The hair salon owner, the cop, the fireman, all the people that we wouldn't think of for disability insurance with some of the bigger players in the market, that's exactly where we come in. So we've got a tremendous individual, fully underwritten product line, as well as a product line that can help small business owners. So at another day, if you're looking for more in-depth training, we can get involved in those products as well. But back to our simplified product, I want to just highlight some of the big benefits here. So anyone from 17 to 64 can get this. We have up to a $3,000 monthly benefit. So customers with a minimum income of $8,000 can actually get our policy. We require 20 hours of work, so it's pretty much part-time. Our application process is fast and simple, which I'll explain. We do unisex smoker rates, so we don't have smoker rates, and we also have a unisex policy. Also available with this new product, very, very short elimination period, as short as 7 days. And normal pregnancy, assuming that the insured is not pregnant at application. So you want 9 months after application, normal pregnancy would then be covered. So very exciting, and I believe this can be a real popular product. Let's get into some more of the specifics. We will only accept electronic applications. So if you're old school newspaper, you're going to need to use our electronic app process, but I can promise you this, it's really simple. And you'll see an example of the application in just a moment. We expect underwriting decisions between 24 and 48 hours. And when you see the medical questions, and if you answer no to all those medical questions, it's literally automatically issued. And you're going to see that in just a moment. And I mentioned these other things as well. So what do? You put in the application, and then we're going to look at the answers to your application, and they're going to make a go, no-go decision. There's no underwriting. There's no, oh, we can offer you this instead. It's go or no go. So just be aware of that. This is as quickly as you're going to ever see a disability policy from submission to issue, I think, in your lifetime. Again, as I mentioned, normal pregnancy, shorter elimination period. I'm going to show you the details. It's a home office slide. But here's a slide that's extremely busy, but you can see we can do as short as a 3-month benefit period and as long as a 24-month benefit period. And you can see all the elimination and periods that are available. What's unique about our illustration system is that you can pick one, but on that back page of the illustration, it will certainly show you what the other options are. So you don't have to run multiple illustrations. You can issue this policy for a benefit as low as $200 a month. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you a combo life sales idea for as low as $500 a month with a traditional product. Our income replacement ratio would be the same as traditional, 60%. And I'm sure you've already heard this, but if you've got a gentleman or a woman that's making $100,000, we automatically go to show them $60,000 of benefit. Right? That represents 60% of their income, and they look at that premium, they may have a hard time rationalizing it. I would never use the word 60%. Because it's really not real. If you're making $100,000, you're not bringing home $100,000. You're probably bringing home, after 401k contributions, medical costs, Social Security, and on and on and on, you're probably bringing home somewhere around $65,000. So I always say it's 90% of your take home, and that sits a lot better for the client. So just be aware of that. Here you can see the different definitions of disability in comparison to the main policy. I'm just going to read a simplified issue. So for your first 12 months, it's unable to perform all the material substantial duties of your OC, and you're not engaged in any other occupation. And then for the next 12 months, and again, remember the max benefit period is 2 years, you're unable to perform the material and substantial duties of any occupation for which you're fitted by education, training, or experience, and then not engaged in any other occupation. So pretty much standard definitions in the industry, and fits well for what it is that we're doing here with the simplified issue design. There's certainly a ton of marketing materials. If you have access to our portal, or somebody at the Levinson Group has these materials, they can certainly get them over to you. But I highly suggest you get on those things and get them out in front of your field force. Let's see here. The application would have to go through the portal. Some information. This is simplified issue. It's not guaranteed. Our approval rate is expected to be 95%. Why? Well, what about the 5%? Well, the 5%, I mentioned there's certain medical questions that are asked. If all those questions are answered, no, the policy is issued. Now, what if they go on claim and we discover one of those answers should have been yes? Well, you know what's going to happen. But assuming all the policy answers are no, the policy is going to be issued. We do bank on somebody submitting an application where one of those questions are answered as yes, and that'll account for that 5% that won't get issued. And again, paper applications are not accepted. And if they don't qualify, if the person doesn't qualify for SDI, they can still apply for a traditional product, but it would be a separate application. Because sometimes the fully underwritten amount will provide a benefit where this may not, based on the questions. And again, I'm going to review those questions with you. Benefits aren't integrated. All right. If you know anything about our worksite, offering is the same product that's offered in our worksite offering. I'm going to kind of blow right by you here. Let's see. Here's some scenarios and some ideas. So a 35-year-old that smokes, occupation class 5, $45,000, a 1-year benefit with a 30-day elimination period. So the new product, the simplified issue for $2,250 benefit, is $64 a month. For the traditional product, it's $51. So it's a $13 or $12 change difference. So we really need to make a determination as to how bad the ailment is and whether or not we need to go with the simplified versus the fully underwritten. But again, you could go simplified and then have the right to go back in and get it underwritten on the fully. Just be aware of that. Here's a 45-year-old that doesn't smoke, class 3, $2,500 benefit. And look at the difference in premium. We're really not really, I mean, it's close enough for hand grenades and horseshoes, right? It's about the same premium. So if we don't want this insured to go through that full underwriting process, I would put them in here. They'll get a policy within, you'll get an underwriting decision, like I said, within 24 to 48 hours, depending on how many, apps are flowing through the system. So it's a great way to get somebody locked into disability coverage pretty much immediately. And then here's a great example of somebody as you get older, 55-year-old, again, non-tobacco, class 3 for traditional product, which equates to a class B for a simplified issue. You can see now the premium per thousand is actually cheaper. So this product is really uber competitive. And you can quote it on our systems. You can use our 5G quote system as well. And of course, you can call the Levinson Group and they can get you illustrations as well. And here's the application. So outside of the proposed insured stuff and the plan information and the replacement information and ownership information, let's get to the medical information. And this is it. If you answer no to all these, you're going to get a policy. So in the last 10 years, the AIDS question, no. In the last 12 months, diagnosed, treated, given advice, prescribed, heart attacks and surgery, congestive heart failure, strokes, TIA, high blood pressure with 3 medications. I had a case yesterday where the gentleman was on 2 medications. Guess what? It got approved. Insulin-dependent diabetes, cancer with the exception of basal cell, Hep B, Hep C, cirrhosis, kidney disease with the exception of any kidney stones, and then last but not least, in the last 12 months, with the exception of colds, flu, and pregnancy, have you had more than 5 consecutive days off due to physical or mental impairment, sickness or injury, and are there any restrictions or limitations that make you unable to perform your regular occupation duties? If you say no to all of these, you will be issued a policy. It's that simple. All right. Let's move on. I'm going to go through the life products pretty quickly, but I am going to concentrate on 2. Our simplified issue, life, whole life. Some people call it final expense. You'll know in a minute why I don't call it final expense. But I'll give you a brief overview of the whole life series, our term series, and our term series includes one of the few remaining return of premium products, which I'll be honest with you, before I joined Illinois Mutual, was at Penn before, whenever I heard a return of premium, I thought of it as a gimmick. It's not. It's a real powerful solution. And I'll explain how that works. This is a lot more than just return of premium. So fun is like insurance. The older we get, the more it costs. And that brings us to simplified issue. And I'm going to go through this pretty basic because it's final expense. There's not a lot to it. Easy to qualify. Our premiums don't increase because it's on a whole life chassis. The most important bullet on this screen, the death benefits don't decrease. This is not a created death benefit. You apply for a $50,000 policy today, you get issued. Tomorrow, you die the next day, your family gets that $50,000, assuming there were no misrepresentations on the application. It's 100% death benefit payable whenever death occurs. We'll issue from ages 45 to age 85, and I'll explain the sales opportunity with this. We can go as low as a $5,000 death benefit and high as $50,000, which is a competitive advantage. A lot of the carriers cap at $25,000 and $35,000. And in fact, I'm going to show you how you can get more than $50,000. I'm going to show you an example of somebody got $200,000 of this. But I'll hold that to the end here. So let's talk about where the opportunity is for multiple sales since our issue ages are from 45 to age 85. Looking at this picture to the left, like a generation 1, dad, and generation 2, his daughter. If dad is applying for a simplified issue policy, that means there's something going on. They've got something that's going to prevent them from being traditionally underwritten. Just as a ballpark, so you know, anybody that would qualify for Table 2 or Table B, depending on how you equate it, all the way up to Table F, would qualify for our simplified issue contract. If they fall within that range, they're a candidate. So if dad here is in that range, that means something's going on. Maybe it's diabetes, heart, whatever it may be. What are the odds of generation 2 also having that issue as they get older? Probably pretty high since genetics is tough to fight. All right. So the good question here would be, hey, your dad's getting this policy. Is this something that you're concerned about in your life? She may already have it, or she may be worried about it. So it's a great opportunity to get her underwritten with a traditional product or get her into the simplified issue while she's younger and the premiums are far more affordable. Easy application process. We do accept paper on this. Please, 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 if you could avoid the paper, it would only delay the process. But if you use an electronic application, let me explain to you how it works. And I should level set this. We are not we're a traditional life insurance carrier that added this product to our portfolio. So that means that portfolio is underwritten and processed on our traditional systems. So we're not the carrier where you're doing final expense, you're with the client, you hit a button, you get automatic approval, and there's a commission paid to you that day. That's not who we are. But when you hit that submission button, here's what happens. Immediately the MIB and prescription check are dropped down. That creates what's called an IRIC score. If that IRIC score falls below a certain level, the system automatically approves the policy. If it falls outside of that level, the system will automatically decline it. And if it falls in between the decline and the approval level, an underwriter will look at it. So we say 24 to 48 hours. That from hour 25 to 48, that's the leeway we're allowing for our underwriters to kind of peer in and see what's going on and make a go or no-go decision. But once that decision's made and the policy goes to issue, that'll take, and I'm just again being real upfront and honest, 2 to 3 days. As long as the policy is issued by Wednesday, end of business, it'll hit our commission run, and we pay our commissions Wednesday evening. All right? We also offer a single premium design, which I think is significant in this marketplace, and here's why. We also have a traditional single premium product, and we use that traditional product very often in universal life rescue plans. All too often in the business, and I get a case every week like this. You know, I got a 69-year-old that just received a letter from their carrier. They got to go from $72 a month to $499 a month to keep their death benefit alive. Why? Because they skip premiums, they minimum funded, whatever. The policy's not keeping up with the escalating mortality and expense charges. And very often these individuals are of age and they have medical issues. Well, what's a solution potentially? The potential solution is to take the existing account value of those expiring UL contracts, 1035 exchange them into a single premium and get a set it and forget it guaranteed death benefit. We get a lot of business that way. Just keep in mind that you have both the traditional as well as the simplified issue single premium design. I'm not going to talk about policy loans. Do not sell this policy for cash value. This is purely a death benefit policy. But because it's a whole life contract, they put this policy loan thing on here. I've never actually I don't even think I've read the whole slide. So again, 45 to age 85, multi-generational sales, 5,000 to 50. Here's how I remember earlier I said I had an individual at 200. The reason we can go up to 200 is we allow for multiple policies to be sold to the same individual. I know of no other carrier that allows for that. We had a gentleman out in the Midwest. He bought 4 of these, for $50,000, one for each of for the benefit of each of his children on his watch. And as long as the agent didn't believe us, by the way, because they said after he got the first policy issue that he was going to go shop with 3 other carriers. And we were like, whoa, wait. And we got the underwriter on the phone, and she's like, yeah, submit the apps right now. I'll have them approved today. And that's exactly what he did. And he was tickled pink. He got 4 policies banged out real quick, and it was a pretty darn good day for him. Again, I mentioned the single and the continuous tag. Underwriting classes. Pay close attention. Bells should be ringing off in your head. Bullet number 1, aggregate rates only, smoker, non-smoker. We do not distinguish between a smoker and a non-smoker. We introduced this product in August of 22. By October of 22, we were inundated with agent applications. Happened to be on the phone with one of them, and I said, hey, how'd you find us? You know what? Why'd you join us? He's like, Alan, have you looked at your simplified issue for smokers? You're number 1 on the street. So if you're dealing with anybody that smokes that needs a simplified issue / final expense, give us a look. You're going to find our premiums extremely attractive. We have all sorts of marketing materials. Again, you can find those through the agent portal or ask anybody at the Levinson Group to grab them to you. We can get them emailed over to you. Alrighty. On the traditional whole life base, but Bill, if there's any questions, just pop out and let me know. So on the traditional product, and I'm going to do this real quick because I know we're off the time and I want to end with a nice sales idea. We'll underwrite and distinguish between preferred and non-tobacco or standard all the way down to our lowest fully underwritten amount, which is $10,000. All our whole life contracts come with both the chronic as well as the terminal illness rider. If you're dealing with younger insureds, I highly recommend the GIO rider. If you got a 30-year-old and we apply for a $50,000 GIO rider. That means at 33, 36, 39, 42, and age 45, no matter what has happened to their health, they can buy $50,000 policies, and they can accelerate those options through birth of adoption of a child, purchase of a home. Some good stuff. And then, of course, you're all in the disability world. I'm a huge, huge believer in the waiver of premium. I put it on everything that I've ever sold, and thank God I did, because I'm not going to tell the whole story here, but Dr. G was a dear friend of my wife and I. She bought a disability policy from me. As a result of the disability policy, she was offered a significant amount of life insurance without underwriting. She took advantage of that, and in June of 19, unfortunately, she came to her battle with MS. And if it wasn't for me putting that disability policy in force, putting that life policy in force, and adding that waiver of premium, those policies would have expired. The beneficiaries were her oldest daughter, which is graduating from Georgetown Law in May, and funded with the gift that her mother gave her from the grave. And her son, who's 2 years younger than the daughter, is a crypto day trader type guy, finishing his last year of college. He actually bought the home where his roommates live, cash, and now is using it to generate income, all because of the gift and the miracle of what it is that we do for a living. All right. There's our whole life contracts in a nutshell, going from top to bottom, left to right. You've got continuous pay 100, which is the lowest cost of entry. We're paid age 121. The 200 series are paid to age 95. Higher dividends, higher cash value. Then below that, you've got two limited pay plans. The one on the left, the 100 series, is a 30 pay. I'll be honest, we don't sell a lot of that, but we certainly sell a lot of the 20 pay. Get these 40-year-old, 45-year-olds, they want whole life insurance or permanent life insurance, they don't want to pay into the retirement years. It's a perfect setup. And then earlier I mentioned our single premium life. I'm going to go right past here. Term insurance. We offer a great uber competitive term, a 10-year, a 15-year, a 20, a 25, and a 30-year guaranteed level. And then we have two age-based products, a 2 age 65 and 2 age 70. You got that 53-year-old that says they want life insurance until they retire. You can literally customize the policy so that it expires at age 65 or age 70. The C in red, all of them are fully convertible, or as I mentioned earlier, they all carry financial flexibility for their future. They're fully convertible to the 20th year, and they're convertible to our simplified issue life insurance. I had a smoker, 65. They wanted to convert their policy, but the traditional whole life was too expensive. But because she was a smoker, we put her into the simplified issue, went from $170 to $120 a month. She bought it an hour after I had that meeting with the client. And the other significant thing about our term insurance is we have a free accidental death benefit equal to 10% of the original face, up to $300,000. That's $300,000 of additional benefits, so 10% on a $3 million policy. It may not seem significant, but if we know that less than 2% of term policies ever result in claim, knowing that statistic, I said to the chief actuary, if that statistic is true, would it be safe for me to say to the agents that of that less than 2% that do result in claim, the vast majority of those people are dead because of an accident? And he actually agreed. So that is a very, very strong addition to our contracts. I want to make sure you're aware of that. We've got significant marketing materials. Family Path would be a nice guidebook if you're dealing with some younger individuals buying life insurance for the first time. If you're in the mortgage market, this brochure, this worksheet is perfect. It highlights our 15 and a 30-year level term product to mimic the length of the mortgages. And then the retirement path solution would be our 2 age 65 and our 2 age 70 product. But this is the one that I really wanted to get your attention with, because this product isn't really offered by many carriers. It's called return of premium. We all think of return of premiums, yeah, you pay the premiums at the end and get all my money back. And you're right, that's exactly what happened. But that's not necessarily what we all want to have happen. Let me explain why. I'll do that through an example here. You've got a 45-year-old, $200,000, the premium is $1,800, and if you scoot down to the 20th year, you'll see under cash value the number 35,350. That represents the annualized base policy premium minus $60 a year for the policy, $1,200. So at the end of the 20 years, we can write them a check for $35,350. There's no taxable gain because we subtracted out the policy fee. They're happy and we're happy. We can't get that check out the door quick enough. That takes us off the hook for this $250. But that's not where it ends. Take your eyes to this reduced paid up column. And by the way, as I go through these numbers, every number on this illustration is guaranteed. If I go down to the 20th year, it's $75,786. I had an agent show me this. He goes, Alan, I don't sell this as return of premium. I sell this as term insurance with guaranteed final expense coverage on the back end. That $75,000 is guaranteed. So at age 65 here, they could sell a Aluminum Mutual, keep your 35. I want the 75 plus thousand of death benefit to carry for the next 30 years with no additional premiums. So this individual now would be covered for that 75 all the way through age 95. So option one, give me my money back. Option two, I'm going to trigger that final expense option. But then there's option three. And if we're good agents, at least a month before the contract's to expire, we're going to recommend they go to the doctor. Because if they go to the doctor, I'm going to be given a good update of where they stand. And let's say, hypothetically, this individual goes to the doctor and unfortunately is delivered some really bad news. They've got some terminal something going on. The last thing they ever want to see happen is this $250 disappear from their family's financial world because they got a terminal illness. They want to keep this in force. They could tell Illinois Mutual, you keep your $35,350. I want to keep my $250 of death benefit coverage in force, and I'm going to do it for the next 12 years and 95 days with no premiums out of pocket. No premiums out of pocket, 12 years and 95 days. Now, what happens on the 12th year and 96th day? Well, the policy expires. And I would submit to you that if this individual is still alive and battled stage 4 or something, they don't really care that they gave up this $35,000 12 years ago. They had the peace of mind knowing that if they had lost that battle, that $250 would have gone to their family. So that's our return of premium product. You can do a 20-year design, you can do a 30-year design, and you can do a 2 age 65 design. The max policy base currently is $500,000. We are working with the actuaries to try to get them to give it to us for $1 million, but right now it's capped at $500,000. All right. All right. You ready for a quick combo sales idea? Any quick combo sales idea, or am I out of time?
Let's do it, Alan, and we'll wrap up. Perfect.
All right. So I was a life guy predominantly until last summer, where they're like, hey, Alan, you got to start supporting disability. And you remember earlier I talked about the gentleman with the 100,000 or the woman with the 100,000. We always go to the 60, right? We always want to insure them for the max coverage for disability. Well, that person that makes $100,000 qualifies for $2 to $2.5 million of life coverage, but we never show the $2 to $2.5. So so I'm showing you a way here where I've got a very clear insurance need, and I can put in some disability coverage that's going to enhance their world a lot better than me just simply putting in a life insurance contract. And here's the scenario. Got that 35-year-old making $100,000. They're already paying $2,500 in homeowners insurance, $3,000 in auto. They just bought a new home for $250. All right, so they got a mortgage. So what do we normally do? We got a 30-year mortgage for $250. We buy a 30-year level product, right? There it is. Option one, 30-year level product. The premium's $40. Right? So what's the benefit? The insurer passes, the mortgage is covered. Right? Survivors pay off the mortgage. But what are some of the potential issues? What if they become disabled? There's no mortgage protection, no protection on the life, home, or auto insurance, and all those policies are in danger of lapsing. So when it comes to life insurance, what's the really quick and down and dirty easy solution? Waiver of premium, $3. Everybody on this call can sell $3. No one's going to even question that. So if I add the waiver of premium to the term insurance, I've got the mortgage covered if they die. The premiums for life insurance policy are covered if I become disabled. The only thing that's left unprotected is the homeowners and auto insurance. And remember, those three premiums combined is about $600,000 a year. So let's look at option 3. So option 3 is I'm going to turbocharge that waiver. I didn't use that for my compliance reason. But instead of using the traditional waiver, what if I just simply wrote them a $500 monthly benefit, right? For $500, a 5-year benefit, The premium is $9.58. It's actually $5 more than the waiver. Can we sell that? I think we can. So now everything's covered. So now they've got the homeowners covered, the auto insurance covered, and the life insurance is all covered through a $500 a month disability policy. So what do we have permission to do at a first policy review? Hey, you have this disability policy. Why don't we look into, and then you can go into the max protection conversation then, because he's already used to paying premiums on a disability policy. One other option. Our contract comes with a return of premium option. And if I can guarantee you almost 6% into your 401k, would you do it? You would. Well, the return of premium option is $54. And that interest rate came right off the illustration. You'd have to earn almost 6% net of fees, net of taxes, to get the benefit of what that return of premium option does. That return of premium option returns 100% of the disability premiums back to the insured at the end of the policy. And that premium is another $10. I'm going to just show you a quick summary slide. So I can go with an individual life sub for 40. I can add the waiver for 43. I could add I can exclude the waiver, but now put an individual disability to cover all lines of insurance for an extra $9. And if I want to go full bore and give them the return of premium options, I could add another $14 to that design. This is something that we can help you design. Levinson Group can help you design. It's just a matter of just running 2 basic illustrations. I hope you like that. Just real quick on the non-med, you can go up to $250,000. Dollar below $250,000, you can do non-med up to age 65. We good?
Yeah, that was perfect, Alan. Thank you. Yes, yeah, and I want everyone to know we're gonna take a lot of these brochures, sales ideas, everything that Alan touched on, and send you a thank you email you'll have in your inbox tonight. And then any one of our marketers has all of this info as well. We can always grab Alan on a conference call, whatever it is, to get him involved if needed. Okay, I got about 3 minutes left, and then we'll put a bow on this. So thank you again, Alan. Great work. Okay, how to get started. So now you're super excited, right? You want to start selling some of these great concepts, products. Everything is located on our website under contracting. Just follow the yellow arrow. It'll take you right to Illinois Mutual. Okay, we'll include this in the thank you email as well. Okay, things you need to know. Very important as of this week. In fact, tomorrow, the next slide here will tell you Mutual of Omaha DI is discontinued. No more. Okay, you cannot sell Mutual of Omaha any longer. Okay, if we can go to the next slide there. And the solution is very simple. Look at the right-hand side. We have Assurity on the Instant Decision platform, Mass Mutual for White Collar Emeritus, Manhattan, FSL, and Lloyd's for the more impaired risk policies. And then, of course, we just touched on Illinois Mutual. But this is very, very important information. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to talk about now is getting the word out so you can sell more policies, more product, and get more commissions and renewals. The left-hand side, up to $4 million now, instant decision to age 60. They are telling you if your client is under age 60, standard or better, instant decision in less than 14 minutes. That's from quote to application to decision to policies emailed or mailed to your client. You just made full commission, even if they did this at 2 a.m. while you were sleeping. It doesn't get any better than that. And that's still the number one most competitive term product in the world today. Okay, so don't forget there's no fat built into that product because of the convenience. The right-hand side talks about all of the bullets with the product. By the way, it's also convertible, so you can't say anything wrong when it comes to this product and strategy. The right-hand side has all of the bullets for the new revised Insure Me Now Direct platform, which will include, again, in the thank you email. But pick up the phone, call JC, anything about Insure Me Now Direct, our marketing material, videos. He is here for that reason to help you. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the next slide. You want to get the word out for DI. You know it's important, but your prospects have to know it's important. So we have automated platforms, fully automated systems that, in fact, one of the largest P&C agencies, franchise, it's actually a public company now, they're using our platform to market to all of their PNC clients because they want their CSR reps calling to say, hey, do you want a life insurance DI/CI quote? We have automated text messages sprinkling their database with these different product ideas. Health agencies, same thing. So utilize what we have to offer. Okay, we have the Revenue Accelerator program. It was all intended to boost sales and cross-sell without the agent or agency having to actually do the dirty work. Okay, it does everything for you. And then when the client's ready, you pick up the phone and get involved. That becomes a hot lead. Let's keep moving forward. Top social media posts when it comes to disability income. Okay, so we know how to sell this stuff, but we have to create the sizzle, the activity. So here's what's interesting. Every single week, we do a search on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever topic we're discussing. Now, look at these 4 posts. It's not rocket science. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here, right? Over 1,000 likes, over 30 comments, just with these 4 posts on Instagram. Okay, you can come up with similar ideas. We're going to include this in the email as well, just so you have enough information to be dangerous. But even if you get 3 likes or 1 comment, that's 4 new leads for free. Okay, you get the message. Next slide is our podcast, 2 episodes. I want to share the right-hand side first because I interviewed Chris as like the DI guru, and he sits down and goes over the DI napkin presentation. This was a great episode. It was a few years back, but I promise you, you'll love it. Nothing has changed when it comes to DI strategies and sales. So you'll love that one. On the left-hand side, the other coach, Chris, on the annuity side, I jump in for an hour. Lots of great nuggets, all complimentary, and we're on Pandora now. So, of course, YouTube, it's all complimentary, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and now Pandora. Let's go to the next slide, and then we'll put a bow on this and have our question of the day. So this is our upcoming webinar event. So real fast, very important. I want to talk about the Be Your Own Banker concept. On the top, Mutual Trust Life is one of the leaders when it comes to whole life. That one's on the 23rd, around the corner. Just under that is Lincoln Financial relaunch on the 30th. Mutual of Omaha is back, even though they have no DI product anymore. They have other competitive products we're going to roll out on the 6th. Just under that is Hancock. They are rolling out. So it's supposed to be one of the most competitive hybrid life LTC products. We'll find out on the 13th, right before Valentine's Day. On the bottom, Mary Reed is back in her great retirement planning strategies. This is great for big cases. We're talking average of $70,000 of target premium and commissions and up. Okay, so you want to be on that call. That's on the 27th. My last slide here, question of the day. Make sure your little fingers are on the keyboard because you got to be quick. And I know most of you will have the answer. So get ready. Whoever's first and correct wins the Apple iWatch special edition in the prospecting book. My question is, tell me the date of the annual Levinson Expo this year. What is the date? And who is our annuity keynote speaker I mentioned earlier? Who is our annuity keynote speaker? And tell me the date of our annual Levinson Expo. Give me both answers, and you win. JC is going to look over who answered and who was first and correct. And he's going to share right now. JC, who's today's winner?
So far, I'm getting some incomplete answers.
Okay. That means keep firing away, folks. So a little hint. Okay.
David S.
David S. Congratulations. The answer is April 11th for the expo, and Charles Samuel, our annuity coach, is our annuity keynote speaker. Let's have a great, positive Thursday, great rest of the week, great weekend, great selling. Keep your eyes peeled for our thank you email and start to leverage some of our resources today. Thanks again, everyone.